If he's a little chubby, he's a happy pappy. Oh, hey. You didn't say we were rolling. Check, Mike. Check, check. The walrus with the waitress with waxed lips. Is that the thing we do? I'm struggling to fit into my t-shirts. I'm taking the summer off to lose some weight. I have the option to. I'm a chef at a Boston area university, and I'm taking the summer off because I can. Don't worry, there will be no interruption of the show. Hopefully, we're gonna have plenty to talk about every day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, daily here. Oh, turn off that HEPA filter. The Comics Coffee Table, welcome once again. Thank you very much for coming by. I have a fresh cup of coffee for you if you'd like. But whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, Pally, welcome. Pull up a chair here at our coffee table of comic books, the Comics Coffee Table. Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of my stuffed animals from our Boston studios. And thank you so much if you found the channel here through Wes's channel, Thinking Critical. God bless you. Thank you so very much for coming by. Hit that subscribe button if you could be so kind. We might have hit 1,000 already. Pre-recorded. But still, it's to keep grinding away. Our first 1,000 subscribers. It's wonderful. It's great to be able to talk about comic books for a few minutes, just once a day. Take a break. Have a coffee break with us. Pull up a chair to our Comics Coffee Table. Leave the real world over there for a couple of minutes. My friends would always congregate around the coffee table. There would be a stack of movies, a stack of music, a stack of books, and a stack of comic books. And it's at that spirit that we continue this comic book shop-style conversation daily, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Subscribe. Thank you. I'd love to earn your subscription. Smash that like button. Hit the downvote if you like. I'm a big lad. I can handle that. Seen a couple of downvotes. Thank you so much. That's a good fresh cuppa. And yeah, Dell's Coffee. Here, there's a radio button in the banner of this very YouTube channel's homepage. Get your own. He'll ship it out to you. Just saying, this is not a paid advertisement. I'm just a happy customer. And so thank you once again. A big part of the show is that we love our local comic book shops. I'm calling it Holy Ground, Highlander, or Holy Ground, Batman. Take that as you will. It's a Highlander reference. It's a Batman thing. It's about loving our geeky hobby here and getting you to go back to your local comic book shop and spending your money there. I need to reboard, rebag, and rebox my entire comic book collection. I thought that would make great YouTube content. Just talking about comic books for a couple of minutes in a day. Looking at old comic books, looking at the ads. And a lot of them, you know what? The older the comic books get, because we kind of lose the letters page along the way. And I don't know about you. I never got my letter published in a comic book, but I remember looking forward to issue 23 of G.I. Joe Marvel Comics in the early 80s because that was the issue where my letter was going to be published if they were going to, and the anticipation of that funny book and just, the disappointment that goes along with it, but knowing full well that, you have a childhood grip on probability. Like, hey, I sent a letter in. Will it get published? It probably won't. But that didn't dash the hopes with the expectation. So, so we love comic books here. So I'm reboarding, rebagging, reboxing my entire collection. I'm taking this opportunity to buy my supplies at my local comic book shop. I'm getting my boxes there. I'm using short boxes now. I'm getting my bags there. And I'm getting my my acid-free boards there as well. And I'm agreeing to pay the retail markup. Yeah, it's not because, I'm naive or a fool or anything. It's because this is how we keep our local stores open. We go to them. We spend our money there. I mean, my local comic book shop is a mom and pop operated local business, and it's a business that survived lockdown 2020, when a lot of local businesses, couldn't make it, and so I'm not spending my money at the big box. I'm not spending getting my supplies on my online supply chain, the one with the free delivery and the built-in movie network. You know what I'm talking about. And I could be getting a price break. I could be finding those MyLights too, and getting a price break on the MyLights, because when the MyLights come into my local comic book shop, I'm like as I'm saying, I'm agreeing to pay the retail markup because that helps my comic book shop. So and going to the local comic book shop, there's a very social aspect to it. Seeing other people, hearing them, seeing their micro expressions, their body language, and the stack of funny books they could have in their hand, and you could be like, "Oh, wow, what do you think of this book?" It's great. It's great to talk to other people, and it's good to actually and be like, "Hey, yeah, I see you here every Wednesday. I got that a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was fun," and making connections with the staff, and I just been, I've been going to my LCS for the better part of 2 decades, and very happy for it. Thank you very much. Oh, local comic book shop, yay to thee. My comic book shop is the sweet land of my liberties, where I take a break and I have great, serialized entertainment. I'm a brave man, sipping my coffee over some funny books. We need to board and bag some of these. So I'm getting, we're reboarding, rebagging, reboxing my entire collection. Along the way, I'm getting an eye. I'm not a speculator, no, but I like the game of it. I mean, it's nice keeping track of the numbers. They're like baseball cards to me, in a way. So it's about speculation, kind of, but it's like this could be worth something someday, or hey, this is worth something, and hey, look at the condition. I buy a lot of back issues now, so knowing how to grade comics better and understanding the 10-point rating system that is the industry standard, those numbers that's on the top of your slab, if you slab into that. I don't have any slab comic books. I'm not saying I'd ever not buy one. I mean, if we're thinking about comic books as art and as a valuable, as something that, like, if I pay $200 for this 9.6 issue of the X-Men now, will it be worth $500 10 years from now? I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about that. But my parents gave me these books for Christmas last year, so this season is dedicated to my parents. Thank you so much. I love you. And you can find links in the description to both of these, to where you can get copies of these. These are the Overstreet guides. These are industry standards. These is great to go along with your comic book collection and read. I mean, this is an annual, and I'm getting it again next year. I got it last year. I mean, here's last year's. I mean, it's really changed I've changed my mind on that. Like, yeah, Overstreet, I think that's a must-have. And this grading guide is fabulous too. So get into it, snap into it. Snap into a Slim Jim. Wrestling. I gave up on wrestling when Hogan went Hollywood. That was like mid-90s. So like, a lot of my YouTube friends out here are like wrestling, and I just like sometimes just nod my head. Like, sure, it's great because wrestling's always been it's kind of been like superheroes. Yeah, we covered these two just the other day, and I found 2 more. So I think it's interesting here because continuing the story, but we lose the trade dress on the top of it. Not the rebirth branding, but the multiplicity storyline. So we go from multiplicity part 1 to no multiplicity on the banner to multiplicity with no part. thing, or maybe did they skip around on other comic books? I don't recall that. I think I would have gotten it, but yeah, we've got Tomasi and Gleason. We've got Ed Benny's on this one. Ryan Sook's in this one. We gotta open this up. We gotta look at this. Look at some ads too. And then here's the wrap up to it. And look at all those Supermen. I love multiverse Supermen. I really do. We'll get to that one next. But like, let's look at this. We're gonna look at both of them. You like one of these comics or both of? Both of these nuts. We got, of course, it's the O'Sullivan Spine Roll Show, but everything else about this magazine is pristine. So I wonder what this would be, you know. And it's really interesting. We're jumping around the multiverse and that's the Rebirth Superman costume, not to be confused with the New 52 Kryptonian battle armor version that also lacked the red trunks. Now, this is right before Brian Michael Bendis comes over as a free agent from Marvel Comics to DC, and one of the things that Bendis did was he brought back the red trunks. I think that might have been his call. And then we have Justice League Incarnate from the Multiversity story that happened about maybe 7 to 8 years before this. You got President Calvin Ellis, the Superman of his world, and historically it was like there was always a race swapped Earth in the DC canon, and yeah, I mean, I don't know why Batman was white in that world either, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's not about that. It's just this is about a multiverse Justice League. We got a Mary Marvel there. Look at that. Oh. So awesome. Jorge Jimenez is in this too. Clay Mann. Ed Bennis. I mean, this is that's a murderer's row of comics creators. And coming in hot with Rebirth, now we have the Super Sons with Tomasi and Gleason. This is great. And our Indicia Colophone. This is Superman number 15, March of 2017. And you're getting it bored. You deserve it. I'm also kind of going through these and seeing like, oh wow, like you're like, oh I see you. It's like, oh, do you actually need a board? Can I just like group? And yeah, some of them I have to start making that call. Like, okay, you guys aren't getting boards. I'm just gonna pack you up and see what I can, get for you. You know what I mean? And there's Multiversity Part 3. Tony Daniel, Clay Mann. Okay, look at some ads from 2017. We're still having ads in comic books, ads in periodicals and publications and magazines. This one's actually really good condition as well. We got a little bit of dingage here on the cover, but overall it's a nice tight issue. I mean we got some, yeah. If it's an O'Sullivan comic book, it has to have its dings. These are the dings. Oh, remember that? This was at the end of my, probably the peak of my my Lego phase. I had a huge Lego phase. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Elsewhere, yeah. So this was fun, yeah. Oh, ho, ho. Things you wouldn't see today. Some Warren Ellis stuff. This is an alternate reality story on a parallel Earth. I love the way that Warren Ellis says stuff and writes stuff. Oh gosh, I wish he would just go back to doing comic books. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thank you very much for coming by and checking out Look at all the multiverse Supermen on here. I love that. We've got Val Zod. We've got the Chinese Superman. Let's see. We've got. I see. Wow, who's this? That's not quite who I thought it was. I thought that was the Justice League series. That's the other side. Sorry. There we go. One piece of tape. There we go. Yay, and we're all going to find you a new home in a DC, in a proper DC box. Yeah, but these were fun. They took a lot of elements from Multiversity, Grant Morrison's Multiversity, which was a celebration of the multiverse. And it's actually up next too. This is from the other day. You know I loved Zero issues. And you need a piece of tape. There you go. This was worth it, every penny. This is a 9.2 apparently. Hopefully I haven't, killed it by handling it. I've just been. I think I've read it only once. It's in great condition. Speaking of Multiversity, here we go. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is kind of like. Let's see, we got Grant Morrison, Ivan Rice. Who's Prado? Ivan Prado, Earth 7. Oh, remember Future's End? Because we were thinking about we always talk about Future State, but we always forget about the New 52, Future's End. Oh gosh, and it was like, because we always say this stuff. It was Night Terrors is coming up soon, and it's gonna. So we're putting a pause on like all the issues for 2 months, and so we're gonna get Night Terrors, Superman #1 and Superman #2 for the next 2 months. I think they did that in Blackest Night. They did that for Convergence. And that's just that's the, I guess, is that the DC way? How to, for the summer event? I guess so. People are always saying, we're sick of event comics, especially the summer event. They go from one event to the other. I don't pay attention to the events anymore, really. I did, but for Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, because I was tuned into that because it was fun. I took on the challenge. Kind of. It was just the idea came to me being on Wes's show, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna check out Dark Crisis. I'll take that bullet. And I was pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't great, I can tell you that much. So yeah, I want to keep my Multiversity. Here we go. Oh, this is just great, but it's Pax Americana. This is I could spend all day talking about this one issue. This is, okay, if you know the Watchmen, then you know that it was supposed to have been the Charlton Comics Heroes. Charlton Comics came back all the way from the DC, from the golden age of comics, and DC had bought up basically all of their competitors and integrated those properties into, the DC stable of, we call them intellectual properties now, but back then, that's not the vocabulary we had back then. But what we did have, this is Multiversity by Grant Morrison. Let's look at the Indicia colophon real quick. So yeah, this was this. Here you go. Did you file that already? You might have. You're good at stuff like that. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, this is Multiversity #1. So there is Multiversity 1 and 2. And in the middle, we're going to have Tales set, and and see, these are the 52 Earths of the local multiverse. So this is a new playing ground, in a way, for Grant Morrison to expound upon what was set up, that he helped create. In Infinite Crisis, we have the restoration of a multiverse. And it wasn't infinite Earths. It was a local multiverse of 52 Earths. And they were being plotted and specific. There was a map of the multiverse. And there's one in here, too. We'll see it very shortly. And this was a limited series by Morrison with great artists, different artists on different books, just showcasing talent. This is I think this is a 2007 publication. Let's look at the Indicia colophon. And let's look at that advertisement too. Wonder Woman by Meredith and David Finch. As the curtain falls on the stunning and sailor tale woven by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang. This is great. That's the new 52. So this is 2015. All right. I was wrong about that being 2007. No, this is 2015. And this is the Multiversity. There are still Multiversity titles being published. It was like, actually, it interested me, but it was like, hey, listen, I'm not into Pride comics. They're just not made for me. All right. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I'm just more of like tonally, dialogue-wise, and I just think that stuff's lost on me. And I think it's cute. Don't get me wrong. So there is a multiversity, like a Young Justice multiversity, and it's set on an Earth where we call it the gender swap Earth. That's where the Aqua Woman comes from. And there's a Superwoman, a Batwoman, and they're just like, that's a female version of Clark Kent. And there's a female version of Bruce Wayne, and a male version of Diana of Themyscira. And I don't think they can call them Wonder Man, because that's a Marvel trademark. But you know what I'm getting at. But this is Pax Americana. This is a wonderful issue. It reads so well standalone. So going back, DC had bought out Charlton Comics and folded in their properties and published, Blue Beetle. It was the Nightshade. The Pacemaker. I mean, the Peacemaker. Gosh, everyone's Peacemaker crazy right now. Yes, Peacemaker came from the Charlton Comics line. So back in the old multiverse, that was like, I think that was Earth 5 or Earth C for Earth Charlton, and that's where Blue Beetle came from, Ted Kord, and Dan Garrett before that too. And the whole host of the Charlton heroes that became Watchmen, because they had just bought the Charlton heroes and they didn't want to do that to the Charlton heroes. So they said, Alan Moore, like, make a new bunch of heroes based upon them. So you have the Question, or you have, Rorschach. I mean, you have Blue Beetle, then you have Night Owl. You know what I mean? You have, and so it goes. And then it's set up visually in panels, in sequence, in storytelling, in beats, that it plays like Watchmen, but it's using the Charlton originals. This thing is so well done. This is by Frank Quitely, and this is set on Earth 4, and we know that because of the legend on the side here, that the 4 is the one that's highlight. So all this happens on Earth 4, and it's a pretty damn good comic book. I love being a Grant Morrison fan. I love this multiversity. And these are keepers. They really are. Well, because of the ads too. I love the ads. I mean, these are some of the last comics, I guess, to have, traditional ads aimed at, whomever they think is buying the comic book. They think, Okay, this is set on Earth 16, a new Earth where there's like this is second generation of superheroes and the super kids, and this is really it's kind of fun. It's kind of it's a celebrity society, and it's about there's Damien, there's Connor, there's there's just who's the Superman here, and I'll see real quick. Alexis Luthor, Batman's girlfriend, Batman, Damian Wayne. And then it's about there's some kind of like crisis level stuff going on at the end of each one that ties them all together. Superman, Chris Kent. Okay, do you remember the Chris Kent craze? Okay, no one really. I've mentioned it before. Who remembers Chris Kent? Nobody. Chris Kent is Zod's son in continuity, and it's. I wonder if. Chris Kent is in the current continuity, because we have like Action Comics where there's a whole super family now. Superman gets a lot of crap these days because I love Superman, that. Superman gets a lot of crap these days because of the super family thing. Now you have the super twins who aren't their kids, who are twin girls, teenage girls, survived from the War World thing at Philip Kennedy Johnson's most recent run there, where it was like Superman versus Mongol on a War World with the Authority, and just it was. And that's what while Jonathan Kent, was Superman on Earth because Kal-El was stranded on this red sun planet and put into slavery and into chains, and it was like it was pretty over the top Conan-ish. It was pretty interesting. I caught on at the end of it. This one's a good one. This is from Earth 20. So this is a skewed version of Earth 2. So that's why it shares the Earth 2 thing with the 20 there, because in it we have we got a ding like right in the corner here. Who does the art in here? Chris Sprouse? Hello. There we go. That's a corner. Yeah. No, this is Earth 40. Okay. And Earth 20. Okay, because Earth 40 is the opposite of Earth 20. And so they're coming into crisis. And I love look at these Earth 2 action figures. I love the design of Earth 2 Kal-El. I love because the belt is thick and it's red, and it has a little bit of yellow on it, which is like the belt. So, but it does not have the red trunk. So this is the Earth 2 Kal-El was the closest I've ever got to liking a Superman costume that lacked the red trunks. And that's Bruce Wayne Batman. That Batman behind him, the red eyes and red chest, that's the Thomas Wayne Batman. That's Hawkgirl, Jay Garrick Flash, Alan Scott Green Lantern, and that's Diana. And remember, Diana, Kal-El, and Bruce all die at the beginning of Earth 2. This is really good. Yeah, Chris Sprouse does the art in this. It's a fun comic book. I mean, Abin Sur is the Green Lantern, and he keeps hidden because his outward appearance, he looks like a demon. And then you have Kent Nelson, who is he's kind of like a Superman meets Dr. Fate. And it's just the Society of Superheroes. Conquerors from a counter world. This is really good because Chris Sprouse did Tom Strong with Alan Moore. And look, we got some really great, Vandal Savage. He's a really good bad guy when used right. See, I like that Morrison is not afraid to use Vandal Savage for like really nasty, dirty deeds. Like look at JLA 1 million. And he blows up an entire South American city, Montevideo. I think it's like Colombia. I'm not sure. You could look it up. Read the wiki. Why don't you? Go to your wiki. Use your wiki powers, Eric. Pika to the wiki. Nah. Here we go. Oh, I love these comics. These are great. We haven't even looked at the ads. Now here we go. This is a 2014 book. This one's incredible. I love this one. This is also the case. Celebrating the Multiverse. This is Master Men, April 2015. This is entirely done by Jim Lee and Scott Williams. And this might have been one of the last full issues drawn by Jim Lee. I don't know. I would love to know what you all think about that one right there. But here we go. We've got, we're on Earth 10, which is the Freedom Fighters Earth, where World War II is still going on. But they add in a great what if of like, what if Kal-El had landed in Germany instead. Now we've seen this before too. We've seen this in Mark Miller's Red Sun, where Clark's baby Kal-El, rather, he landed in a Ukrainian, farm and was brought up in the Soviet style of government. And this purports that what if that was Clark Kent fell in 1938. Came to land in rural Germany at a farm in somewhere in Bavaria. And how that would have tipped the scales. And so this is Overman, and this is a really interesting magazine, and it's just so well done. This is, like I said, and these are the Freedom Fighters. There's the Ray, Black Condor, Phantom Lady. There's the Human Bomb. It's just like, it just was, the Freedom Fighters was which property? Pika, we gotta look this up first. Freedom Fighters comics. Let's see what this brings. Let's go to the wiki. That's right. Freedom Fighters, the comics, was published by DC Comics. The original 6 characters, it was Uncle Sam. They were originally, although the characters were created by Quality Comics, they were never gathered into a group before being acquired by DC. And Quality Comics was acquired by DC Comics, and let's see, Quality's characters and title trademarks were sold to DC Comics about 1956. And so, according to DC canon, the Quality characters before the 1985 DC revamping of the Crisis on Infinite Earths existed on 2 separate realities in the DC multiverse. It was Earth Quality, and then there was Earth X. And that's where the Freedom Fighters were, and that's where the while Earth Quality followed much of the same history as the main Earths, Earth X was radically different from most Earths in that World War II continued there until 1973, enabling the Freedom Fighters to continue their fight against the Yazis. Crisis on Infinite Earths number 11 established a new post-crisis continuity in which the Quality and other DC characters have instead always lived on a single unified Earth. So yeah, I think this is one of the last comics, full-length comic books, to be done by Jim Lee. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us today, talking about comic books. We're rebagging, reboarding, reboxing my entire collection, along the way having great conversations. And thank you so much for joining us. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Join us in the live chat. There's always a robust conversation going on there. And keep this conversation going in the comment section, this comic book shop style conversation. Thank you so very much for spending your coffee break with us today. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. God bless. Cheers. We'll see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.